Unpopular opinion, everybody loves dick. Everybody loves dick. Everybody loves dick, right? I don't care if you gay, straight, non-binary, queer, whatever you are. Everybody loves dick. Now, I'm saying that because dick has been prioritized over pussy forever. And how do we know that? We know that because foreplay is not a priority. Foreplay is for women. Foreplay is for women. And foreplay is never a conversation of like, oh, yes, let's take our time. Let's do what needs to happen so that the woman is in the mood. Like that, those aren't the conversations that take place. When we talk about foreplay and how long it should last, which we've talked about this before on the show, guys. Foreplay should last 18 to 40 minutes because that's how long it takes for a clitoris to be fully engorged. That's how long it takes approximately for a woman to be in a fully aroused state. If men truly loved pussy, they would want it to be in a truly aroused state. You would want pussy to be its best for you. But you tell a guy like, okay, I need 18 to 40 minutes, and that's too long. Why is that too long? It's not too long. Why are you in a rush? Why does it have to be microwaved, and why does it have to be quick if that's not pleasurable for me? If I'm telling you it's not pleasurable for me, right? And again, that pleasure gap, that orgasm gap didn't come out of nowhere. If I need something to last longer and you don't want to give me what I need to be in a place where, okay, cool, this is pleasurable for both of us. Now, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? I personally am not in a space to where I will engage in sexual activity that is not pleasurable for me. There's still a lot of people out here that just like bite their tongue and allow things to happen. I'm past that. I'm like so past it. Like it's to the point where if I know this is not going to be pleasurable for me before we get started, I don't need this. We don't have to do this at all. Cause you're gonna finish and you're gonna be fine and you're gonna be satisfied, and I'm gonna be looking here like, okay, well, it's not mutually beneficial at that point. It's not mutually beneficial. And that's also why I kind of hate the conversations around, oh, well, when a man and a woman have sex, it's an equal exchange. It's not an equal exchange if you're fully satisfied and I'm not. If you walk away from this experience fully satisfied and I'm not fully satisfied because you got your nut. I didn't. I did not. I'm not satisfied. I'm vocalizing that I'm not satisfied. I told you what I needed in order to be satisfied, and you told me I was doing too much. I don't think you love pussy like you think you do. Welcome to Her Nut Matters, the podcast that dives headfirst into all things sex, pleasure, and empowerment. I'm Jody, your unapologetic guide to a more liberated sex life. Here we break down taboos, celebrate sexuality, and explore what it means to truly own your pleasure. So whether you're curious, kink-friendly, or just looking for ways to spice things up, you're in the right place. Now let's get to it. This week has been tough. This week has been tough for a lot of different reasons. You can think about the alignment of the stars, the recent election, all of the crazy back and forth on social media. There's just a lot of things that are heavy right now. And I personally feel that weight. Like I feel the weight on me. And I won't say that I'm overwhelmed, but I will say that I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. And I think a lot of women are frustrated. And the reason for our frustrations, whether it's for similar reasons or differing reasons, we're frustrated. Whether it be sexually frustrated or otherwise, the frustration still lies there. And I'll think about myself personally this week, and just, again, all the different things that I'm seeing on social media and just happening in the world. And I've said it before, and I don't think this is going to come as a shocker, but there are so many men in this world that hate women. They hate them. And whether it be whether they like to admit it or not, that hate is so apparent in their words, the way in which they project onto other people. It comes down to hate. Like, it's kind of no way around it. I don't have some well-crafted think piece on why I think men hate women. What I will say is that you cannot say that you love women, specifically Black women. A lot of the people that I surround myself with are Black, so a lot of these conversations happen as it relates to Blackness. And you cannot say that you love someone if you do not value them. I was literally reading a status earlier today. And the status, the original person that created the status, not gonna say who that is because that's irrelevant. He's not the issue. He makes a post, he makes a joke. Someone gets under the post. All right, I'll just tell y'all what the fucking joke was, right? Because that's just more context. So, a close friend of mine shares a post that says, the post says, "Fellas, how do you feel when a woman, has sex with you and then just leaves and ghosts you or whatever?" So he jokingly says he probably didn't notice that you were gone. All right. Someone commented under there and said, "You cannot tell me the value of a woman beyond sex, cooking, and cleaning. She has no value outside of those three things." So my close friend said, "Wow, that's like kind of crazy. Do you have daughters?" Like, talking like that. And the mayor responded and said, "Yes, I have 3 daughters, and I'm telling the truth." And it took everything in me not to respond and ask him, so if women do not have value beyond sex, cooking, and cleaning, so cleaning up after you, cooking for you, or you fucking them, and you just said you have 3 daughters, but this is how you cannot tell me a woman's value outside of those 3 things that you said that's the only way they have value. How can you sit here and tell me that you actually love your daughters? Because how can you love something that you do not value? How can you love someone that you don't value? You don't see any value of them. And here's the thing. I'm pretty sure your 3 daughters are not cooking for you. They're not cleaning up after you, and you're not fucking them. So what value do your 3 daughters have to you if that's how you view women and girls? You cannot love anyone that you cannot see their humanity. You cannot see their value. And when you reduce women to the things that you can use them as, your servant or someone that does, that's what it comes down to. If you cannot use women as servants, they have no value, which means that you don't see them as human. You cannot love any person that you don't see as human. There's nowhere, And also you can't love, and I'll get into this like separately, but also what I realized this week is that you can't love anyone if you fear them. If you fear something that they possess, if you fear something that's attached to them, you cannot love them. So Jody, why the fuck are you even saying that juxtaposed to what you just said, right? So when men talk about, like, oh yeah, I love women, right? But you're afraid of a woman who is sexually free and sexually liberated. There's some uncomfortableness when it comes to a woman who you guys see as too confident. You can't love someone if you fear it, right? You can't and I was having a conversation earlier today because men talk about how, like, oh yeah, I love women, I love pussy. No, you don't. Unpopular opinion, everybody loves dick. Everybody loves dick. Everybody loves dick, right? I don't care if you gay, straight, non-binary, queer, whatever you are. Everybody loves dick. Now, I'm saying that because dick has been prioritized over pussy forever. And how do we know that? We know that because foreplay is not a priority. Foreplay is for women. Foreplay is for women, and foreplay is never a conversation of like, oh yes, let's take our time, let's do what needs to happen so that the woman is in the mood. Like that, those aren't the conversations that take place. When we talk about foreplay and how long it should last, which we've talked about this before on the show, guys. Foreplay should last 18 to 40 minutes because that's how long it takes for a clitoris to be fully engorged. That's how long it takes approximately for a woman to be in a fully aroused state. If men truly loved pussy, they would want it to be in a truly aroused state. You would want pussy to be its best for you. But you tell a guy like, okay, I need 18 to 40 minutes, and that's too long. Why is that too long? It's not too long. Why are you in a rush? Why does it have to be microwaved, and why does it have to be quick if that's not pleasurable for me? If I'm telling you it's not pleasurable for me, right? And again, that pleasure gap, that orgasm gap didn't come out of nowhere. If I need something to last longer and you don't want to give me what I need to be in a place where, okay, cool, this is pleasurable for both of us, now what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? I personally am not in a space to where I will engage in sexual activity that is not pleasurable for me. There's still a lot of people out here that just like bite their tongue and allow things to happen. I'm past that. I'm like so past it. Like it's to the point where if I know this is not going to be pleasurable for me before we get started, I don't need this. We don't have to do this at all. Cause you're gonna finish and you're gonna be fine and you're gonna be satisfied, and I'm gonna be looking here like, okay, well, it's not mutually beneficial at that point. It's not mutually beneficial. And that's also why I kind of hate the conversations around, oh, well, when a man and a woman have sex, it's an equal exchange. It's not an equal exchange if you're fully satisfied and I'm not. If you walk away from this experience fully satisfied and I'm not fully satisfied because you got your nut, I didn't. I did not. I'm not satisfied. I'm vocalizing that I'm not satisfied. I told you what I needed in order to be satisfied, and you told me I was doing too much. I don't think you love pussy like you think you do. Because if you did, it wouldn't be too much. You can wait a couple extra minutes and take your time with the pussy if you loved the pussy. You don't love the pussy. you love the fact that there's a nut on the other end of that. And that just means that you love the pussy as it pertains to you and what you can get out of the pussy. You don't just love pussy. You don't love pussy. You love how pussy feels to you, and you love your proximity to pussy. Those are two totally different things. That's not the same. When you love something, when you love something, someone, whatever it is, you don't have to be in the center of it. You just love its existence. You'll do what you need to do, and if you're a part of it, great. But if not, that's fine too, because you just love it, right? It's just like when you let's say you love let me see. I'm gonna give y'all an example. What's something I love? I dislike a lot of things. Let me think about something I love. I love dancing. Okay, dance. Love dancing. Love dancing, right? I love dancing to the point where I could watch videos of other dancers. I could take a dance class myself. I could, hell, go in my studio and choreograph a dance. And I'm not doing these things or engaging in these things for some sort of outcome. I just love it. So I don't have to get paid doing this. I don't have to, get this over the top validation, recognition, because I'm doing it because I love it. That's the only reason, right? When you say of course I'm saying this to say we claim we love shit that we don't. You're infatuated with it, you're enamored with it, you find it fascinating, you love how it feels, or really like how it feels, right? But you don't love it. And you damn sure don't care about the pleasure of your partner to the point where if you're not putting some dick and pussy, you're still fine. Right? When you come across a man that's like, no, if you get yours, that's all I care about. That's someone that actually cares and prioritizes the pleasure of the woman that he's dealing with. That's someone that cares, right? When he makes sure it's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna make sure you get yours first. That man is damn near like a unicorn because they're so rare. They're so fucking rare. I'm trying to think about if I've ever run into a motherfucker like that. That just was always like, I only care about you. I only care about you being sexually satisfied. Like, yeah. The fact that I can't think of nobody off the top of my head lets me know that I know my answer. Like, I don't even have, maybe I'll think later and it's like, oh, okay, I guess it was that one time where I felt like a priority. But it's not really happening. It's not happening. And if we know that majority of the time men will be sexually satisfied, why are we not both as men and women doing our parts to close that pleasure gap? Because it wouldn't take that much to close the gap. Like, I could see if this was like rocket science, but it ain't. It's not rocket science. It's science, but ain't no rockets fucking involved. Like, it's not impossible to close the pleasure gap. I strongly believe the cheat code to the pleasure gap is literally foreplay. It's literally foreplay. Like, there's no way around it. If you know that it takes 18 to 40 minutes of, stimulation, right? And that stimulation, it's not just, this is what I'm not telling y'all to do, because y'all don't know what foreplay is. So the people that don't know what foreplay is, I'm not telling you, give head for 18 to 40 minutes and boom, then go. Oral sex is sex. I'm talking about foreplay. What are those things that you're doing to get your partner in the mood? Right? I recently someone booked me for a kink session, and the session was an hour and a half. Right? Now, I always start off my sessions with some education. So we go over the education, safety part, ask them what they safe words were, etc. Right? Then we get into some sensory play and showing the guy how to tie his lady up and showing him how to spank her appropriately. And we get into all that, right? I told him 18 to 40 minutes. Mind you, the session was an hour and a half. So of that hour and a half, I'll say like I spent maybe the first 15 minutes only like talking. And then next it was a hands-on tutorial. 18 to 40 minutes is not that long. It's not that long. I gave his lady a 30-minute sensual massage. That was just the massage. That was just the massage portion at the end of the session. So that's 30 minutes right there. I said 18 to 40 minutes. Now, 18 to 40 minutes, again, it's going to vary. That's why there's a range, right? Some days it may be 18 minutes. Other days it may be 40. That's why you have to figure out, okay, cool. What are the things that turn my partner on? What's going to make this a pleasurable experience, etc. You have to know your person, right? But because we continue to put pleasure on the back burner, that's why when a woman really does come across a guy that's like, oh my God, he making me orgasm and he making me do this and he actually care about if I get mad. And now that's when you have bitches hiding in the bushes because they not used to it. Everybody, that should be normalized though. That's the problem. The problem is that it's not normalized. It's not normalized. There's no way in hell that 80% of heterosexual women are not being sexually satisfied. And they're like a lot of us, because myself included, there was a point in time where I was not having really good sex, but at least I was having sex. So it's like, all right, cool. That's not how I want my sex life to be. I don't want to describe my sex life as it's cool. What? Like I feel like all of us deserve to have the best sex of our lives. And that starts with seeing the humanity in others, and allowing them to really just be their sexual selves. Like, communicating, of course, being honest about what it is that you want in the bedroom, both ways, but then also being willing to go above and beyond for your partner. Because what we know about women is that we're multipliers, we're reciprocators, right? If you run into a guy that's overly trying to please you sexually, you're going to overly try to please him sexually. And if that's not your like instant reaction, then you need to reevaluate why you having sex to begin with. Because me, I want to have good sex, great sex all of the time. I don't want to have bad sex. I don't show up like, all right, cool, I guess we can have bad sex today. Like, nope, don't nobody want bad sex. So it's quite puzzling to think about the fact that there are a lot of people out here that want to make excuses as to why they can't put 18 to 40 minutes into a foreplay session so that they can have better sex. It's not like, oh, if you add foreplay, the sex is now going to be worse. It's only going to make things better. And I'm only talking about foreplay right now. Don't get me started on aftercare. Because y'all don't be wanting to do foreplay. So I know y'all don't be trying to hear what I got to say on aftercare. But I don't know. These are just some of my thoughts this week because it's been a heavy fucking week. And I feel like people like it's sad. It's quite sad. But I kind of want to like lighten it up a bit. So that's kind of like my quick little rant to what's been going on with me this week. Of course, welcome back to another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I have a a story from one of the listeners, and I told the listener that I was not going to read the story when they sent it to me because I wanted to actually read it on the show and then y'all could see like my real time reaction. So I did not read this at all. So we're reading it together, all right? So this is a listener, a loyal listener. So shout out to you, all right? I think this is one of my listeners in Texas. So, okay. So this happened a few years ago. I get a call from a longtime friend who is as open-minded as I am. She sounded so serious and got straight to the point. We've known each other for years and have had some freaky fun together and with some of her girlfriends. She has always had this interest in being with two guys in a full participation threesome. She says that guys sometimes say they are bi or at least open to the experience, but usually chicken out when they find out it could really happen or are just saying they are open just to get between her legs. First of all, pretending like you open to a bisexual experience just to get some pussy is crazy. What? Pretending like you anything to get some pussy or some dick or whatever is fucking insane. But okay, cool. So, her question for me kind of surprised me a bit. She asked if I was serious about the bi experiences I told her about, or was it just talk to get her off? Oh, so she like a voyeur or something. When you tell her freaky story, she be turned on. Hey, I was surprised, but there was this urgency in her voice. I told her that I had never lied to her about anything like that. She told me that I never gave her any indication that I was down for bi play by my mannerisms. I asked where the line of questioning was coming from. Well, she has this new friend that is interested in a threesome and is curious about some bi fun if she is involved. Okay, so basically the girl was trying to set you up. She was trying to have a MFM, or was she trying to have an MMF? Okay, it sounds like there's two bi-curious men and one. Well, she probably bisexual too. I don't know. It ain't even. I guess that part don't matter yet. Okay, so she said, well, she has this new friend that is interested in the threesome and is curious about some bi fun if she is involved. I asked what he looked like and, well, if he was circumcised. She told me to trust her and to come over Saturday morning around 11 a.m. since he was spending the night. 11 a.m.? Okay. Fast forward to Saturday morning, I arrived about 11:15. So she had this guy spend the night with her and she had you come over in the morning? Okay. A threesome at 11 a.m. is crazy. Okay, fast forward to Saturday morning. I arrived at 11:15. Yes, I was a little excited about what might happen. OMG, she opened the door and he was gorgeous with a body that made me want to cover him in chocolate and lick every inch. She had on a baby tee with no panties and he was in some boxer briefs and apparently very nervous. After a bit of interesting small talk, she looked at me and told me that she was sucking his dick before I got there and kissed me. Then asked if I could taste his pre-cum on her lips. Oh, this bitch freaky. I just smiled and got out of my pants. Not you finna get straight to it. She put us side by side on the couch and pulled his dick out and began licking, slurping, and sucking. All the while smiling and making eye contact with me. Hot. I took my hand and touched that six-pack and began to lightly caress his nipples. Okay, she kind of told me he liked that beforehand. Okay, so she already told you that he liked nipple play. I don't think I've ever dealt with the guy that liked nipple play, or at least I've never thought to play with a guy's nipples in the act. I don't think that thought ever really crossed my mind. But I know it's guys out here that exist because yeah. Okay, so he was in heaven and the scene was hot for me too. So I began to lick one nipple while I guess stroking the other. I'm finna keep saying she because I don't know if this lady's real name or not, or if it's already a fake name, but whatever. She grabbed my hand and pulled it towards his dick. I began stroking him as she joined me on the other nipple. He was so hot, I thought he would pop just from my hand. She could not stop smiling. She asked him how it felt to have a man's hand on his dick. He moaned with approval, and me being me decided to take it there. I dropped down and began sucking and licking the shaft of his pretty dick. He was done. LOL. All I heard was, oh shit. And she saying to him, oh, you like that, huh? Then she asked him, you want to come in his face, baby? You like coming in mine, or you want it on my tits so you can both lick it off? Oh, that's freaky. Well, that did it for him. He moaned and I felt that familiar swelling and knew what was next. The first spurt was swallowed, but the next 3 went on my face as he moaned loudly. I kept milking him. Oh, this is crazy. Okay. I kept milking him, drawing more out as she came down to join me, alternating kissing my face and licking the head of his dick. I just sat back as she sat on my lap, her back to him, giving me this sexy grin. My dick was hard as timber. She looked over at him and told him to stroke it while he watched her ride my dick. Whoa. I had never seen that little dominant side she displayed, but he must have because he obeyed. As we fucked, his stroking intensified and he grew hard again. She looked back while riding me and saw the stiffness, jumped off of me and ran to the bedroom saying she'd be right back. She tossed him a little bottle of lube and told him to fuck her in the ass while she rolled me. Damn, I felt the lube leak onto me as he entered her plump ass. She was loving it as was I. I came first, I think. He couldn't get a real rhythm until after I came. She laid on top of me while he drilled her ass. I love kissing her, so I felt myself rising again. When she came, she looked at me with flared nostrils and scooted up to my face. I licked her pussy and sucked her clit as I felt his cum ooze onto my chin, down my neck. I had no idea what he was doing and didn't really care. She surprised me again by kissing me and stroking his dick. She looked at him and asked if he wanted to suck it. He didn't say a word, but also didn't move. Then she asked if he'd rather fuck me. Still not a word. She then says, well, maybe you want some dick. His fine ass just sat there watching us. She looked at me and told me to suck his dick while he thought about what he wanted to do. I obeyed. Hell, the man is hot and I wanted to do whatever. She began fingering my ass while I sucked him. He got harder. I'm thinking, damn, this guy has a magic stick. She began rimming my ass and finger fucking me. To make a long story short, talk about to make a long story short. Don't make the shit short now. The shit long. Everybody got fucked. I took her strap on and actually got to Wait, what? Okay. I told her that if that really was his first time, he is a trooper. But I'm thinking he's been at that party before. I had to blast and couldn't wait to hook up again. Maybe I can rat that dick of his next time. He works not far from my job, so maybe I could suck him off at lunch one day. Oh my fucking god. That's a freaky ass story. I feel like you gotta be like, I said this on my I recently put this on my story on Instagram. I feel like as a woman, I think about me and the stuff that I'm into. I think that the only person that's like freakier, nastier than me is a bisexual man. Because I'm damn near a bisexual woman. Like anything that a bisexual woman would do, I would do. And I don't consider myself a bisexual woman, but I am on that kind of like, I'm not a 100% heterosexual woman either. Like I'm like just a little bi-curious. I'm the bi-curious woman, so I'm still bi adjacent. I'm still there, right? Yeah. So anything a bisexual woman would do, I would more than likely do. Like, yes, I'm a scissor. Yes, I'm gonna eat some pussy. Yes, I'll probably use a strap. Yes, I'm cool with putting shit in somebody else's ass with shit going in my ass. The only person that can do something that's probably like freakier than me is a bisexual man. Like I feel like the bis have all the fun. Like that's where the real sexual, I don't give a fuck what anybody got to say happens, is in the bi. It's in the bi area. Also, I like how y'all was like trying to have some bi fun. I've never heard that before, so that just sounded real cool to me. Now I think I'm gonna start saying it like, ooh, I just want to have a little bi fun. But that, I feel like that story just reiterates the fact that the only person that's freakier than because heterosexual men, they can be freaky, but they not nasty. They not like real nasty. Heterosexual men can't. And not that they can't. They're perfectly capable of being way freakier than they are. There are societal limitations that prevent them from exploring things that make them feel on the fence, because they're afraid of the gay. They don't want to be called gay. And that's fine. Like if that's a true limit and you say, I truly do not want to experience that, I truly don't want any parts of that. But you really have to ask yourself that question of, is this something I genuinely don't want to do? Or is this something that society told me I can't do if I still want to be seen as a heterosexual man? Those are two different questions, right? That you got to ask yourself. And only you can answer that, because I remember a time where even myself, way before the threesomes and all of that, I told y'all on a previous episode, I thought that as long as I never ate pussy, I was never going to be considered a gay or bisexual anyways. Like this was obviously way before I became a sexologist. But eating pussy was always my measure. Like that was it. It was like, okay, you could kiss a girl, you could feel on a girl, you could do things with girls, but the moment you eat pussy, now you're gay. And as someone, my sister is bisexual. So I used to I tell her like, so what just make you just wake up one day and want to eat pussy? Like those are the types of fucking questions that I would ask her. Partly because I'm a dickhead, I guess. But the other part is like a genuine curiosity for how non-heterosexual sex looks like. And I don't want to rely on, I told y'all before, I don't really watch porn. Like I don't like porn. The only porn that I be wanting to watch is like orgy porn, and that's because I'm curious about orgies. But I've never really been curious about lesbian sex to the extent that I wanted to watch lesbian porn. But I was curious to know how the bisexual and lesbians around me had sex. And I'm the type of motherfucker where it's like, if this is my question, I'm going to ask it. And so I remember asking my sister, and I asked her, I was like, oh my God. And this is gonna get into another point. So if you are a lesbian identifying woman listening to my show, and or you are a bisexual woman, I am curious to know what your answer to this is. All right, because I just saw a reel that said, and I'll tell you what the reel basically revealed. The reel said that only bisexual women scissor. Lesbian women don't scissor. And I watched that reel this week, and literally in the reel it's like, no, bisexuals be scissoring. Real lesbians don't be scissoring. And I'm like, what? And then when I watched that reel, I thought back to like years ago when I asked my sister, I was like, what y'all be doing? Do y'all be scissoring? And she like, no, we don't do that stupid ass shit. And then I felt dumb. I was like, I thought all lesbians scissored. And then recently I'm watching this reel and they talk about some bisexuals be scissoring. Lesbians don't scissor. And I don't believe it. I'm not saying that I believe this shit. I'm not saying that. I think you guys are lying to us. You don't want us to know that you be scissoring. But I do think it's of course, my sexually curious self, I be wanting to know how other people have sex. And I've been sexually curious, and I don't know why I look at people and I be like, I wonder how they be fucking. I don't know why my brain goes that way, but it's like, it's been times where I would see like two old people walking down the street and I'm like, I wonder if they still be freaking on each other. Like, I don't know why, but that's how I think. I'd be like, oh man, I wonder what it's like when they, at home alone and they getting all freaky and stuff and they all 70 and shit. Cause hell, I feel like when I'm 70, if I can still have sex, I'm gonna want to still have sex. I feel like it's not an age thing. So like for me, I be just looking at people from all walks of life. Like, oh, I wonder how they like. Cause I feel like this is how I feel. Your personality, who you are, it's like, it's directly correlated to how you have sex. So I feel like my personality, like how I am, it makes sense for me to do the shit that I do when it comes to like how I fuck. Like, I feel like it would be so nobody. I don't think anybody that's listening to this show would believe that I'm someone that's like, okay, we finna turn off all the lights and then get under the covers and have sex and make sex missionary style. That is so not me. That's so not me. And I don't think any of y'all would even like, if we had to like, I don't know, like create sexual profiles of people, right? And then profile A says, this person only has sex in the dark and, they have to, they have on like a nightie or something like that. They're never going to be fully naked and you have to get under the covers and y'all wouldn't put that profile to me. Like, hell no. But there are people out here that exist like that, and that's cool. But, like, cool for them, whatever floats your boat. But I definitely think there's something to be said. There's something to be said about that. All right. I'm finna move on because, yeah. But, okay, we gonna move on. That was an interesting story. Thank you for that story to the listener that wrote that in. Thank you for today's whole fashion. Even with the new Her Nut Matters shows, we still gonna be reading the whole fashions. I think they're important because when we share our stories about what we've experienced sexually, I think that kind of like that I don't want to say that it grounds us, but it does ground us. But what it does is that it just emphasizes our humanity and that these are experiences and they're not abnormal experiences. The moment that we begin to normalize conversations and experiences around sex that is on our terms, right? Because that's what it comes down to. I'm not telling y'all to go out there and find, go find two people and just have a threesome and boom, you're gonna be sexually free. No, unless that's what the fuck you want. Unless that's what you genuinely want, right? What I'm saying is that when we tell these stories, right, we are normalizing these stories that are rooted in pleasure, these stories that are rooted in exploration, these stories that are rooted in sexual freedom. When we tell these stories, we normalize these stories. And so we basically give someone else this kind of like energy to go out there and explore what sex feels like or looks like for them, right? On their terms, of course. So thank you again for sharing that. I got a quick sex tip for today because I'm gonna be giving y'all tips. All right. And the tip aligns with the story, which is exploring sexuality is part of a healthy relationship that you have to yourself in your own body. I'll say that again. Exploring your sexuality is part of a healthy relationship with yourself in your body. All right. When we do not explore our bodies, it's okay. Let's get to why wouldn't we explore our bodies? We don't explore our bodies because we have shame attached to our bodies, right? We have been programmed and conditioned to view our bodies as dirty, as sinful. And again, that's a result of social, religious, historic constructs. We view our bodies as sin, right? So we don't want to explore the sin. We don't want to explore our bodies, right? And what that does is it creates a very unhealthy relationship to our bodies because we walk around with these bodies and there's, like when you feel like your body is impure, you cannot love it. You cannot appreciate it because you already have this kind of repulsed feeling of your own body, of your own existence, right? So when you explore your sexuality, you are literally giving yourself permission to have a healthy relationship with yourself. And it's hard for you to have a healthy relationship with anybody else if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself and your own sexuality. So, I was recently telling one of my sex coaching clients, she was like, oh, do I have to be in a relationship or do I have to have a boyfriend for you to continue to see me as a sex coach? And I was like, no, because it starts with that sexual relationship you have to yourself and your own body. Now, when you have a partner and you bring them into whatever it is that you have going on, then that's something totally different, but it starts with you and exploring your sexuality and developing that healthy relationship with yourself and your own sexuality. Now you're able to just share that with somebody when they come into the picture, right? You're able to tell them, well, I like this and I don't like this, and this is how I sexually respond to things. And now you can have those conversations. You're not afraid of those conversations. You're not ashamed of those conversations because you've already developed this healthy foundation with your sexuality. All right. If you're curious about any aspect of your own body or your desire, you need to make time to explore it in a safe way. It's nothing wrong with scheduling masturbation sessions or exploration sessions where you might decide like, okay, cool, next Wednesday I just want to research this sexual thing that I'm curious about, and then I'm going to meditate on it and journal about it and just, whatever that looks like, right? But you have to explore that curiosity. Again, that your relationship to sex is your relationship to sex. It's not, what does sex mean to my relationship with this other person? We're only talking about your relationship to sex as a person. And whether you are, again, exploring sex solo or exploring sex with a partner, you have to make sure that you create a space for you to explore pleasure in a safe and healthy way. So, yeah, you are someone that would like to learn more about exploring your sexuality and you looking for a sex coach, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. All of my information is on Instagram. My Instagram is still JODYPRHOE. If you are curious about classes or anything like that, you got any questions, hit me up. I'm here to help. I'm here as a resource. I truly want all of you guys that are listening to explore your sexuality, reimagine sex, and redefine it on your terms. So that's all I got today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review, all that great stuff. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Until next time. Thanks for tuning in to Her None Matters. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the pleasure with others. Follow us on Instagram at Her None Matters to stay updated on everything we have going on. Remember, pleasure is power. Go out there and own yours. Catch you next time.